Hey, what's up, guys? This is Rich, and I'm here with Audrey.
Hey, everyone.
And we're here for kind of a special experiment for you guys. We are
We're gonna
checking.
train our brain.
Yeah, we are going to train our brains because they're soggy and sad.
Oh, soggy.
So we're yeah, soggy.
Sound
I don't know. That's a word for a brain. So we're here to check out brain age concentration on the 3DS, and what we're actually doing is a special review commentary, if you will. This is kind of a unique game, and it's got some sort of unique presentation and limitations to how you play the game. So we're actually just going to kind of walk you through what the game's about and talk a little bit about the review, which will be up at the same time as this video.
Yeah.
We're actually giving the game a 7.8, and it's being reviewed by Lucas, one of our all-star freelance reviewers. And so, as you can see here, Dr. Kawashima's back. He's going to do all sorts of different exercises.
He's gonna make your brain hurt until it's better.
Exactly, and it's a combination of very casual and much more challenging sort of exercises, very much along the lines of the past Brain Age games that were on the DS, just, now it's on 3DS. You've got, a lot of math questions, memory matching, some sort of weird, like, shell game alterations.
Also he's a devil.
He's also a devil, which is sort of this random thing, but I guess he wants to try and, like, I don't know, punish you. Look at him. He's so scary.
He's gonna be that mean to you.
I know, yeah. I don't know. Something about the glasses makes him not as scary to me.
Yeah.
So Audrey, what's going on right here? He's actually going. You can't do anything in this game until you do what you're doing.
One of the weird things about this game, actually, is that you can't really play as much as you want. Especially when you first start the game, you have to do this first devilish training exercise.
Yeah, you literally like tried to click on. I think it was like concentration challenge. He's like, nope,
you can't do it. Go do devilish training first.
Yeah. So this actually takes a good 5 minutes or so, and it's basically actually just basic math questions, and that seemed a little boring, and we wanted to be able to. You can actually see it here. So you're trying to remember an answer to a question that passed twice before.
It's a series of math problems that they keep going one after the other, and you have to remember the one from 2 back or 3 back, and it's hard. It's harder than you would
Yeah, it's hard, and it's going to take about 5 minutes. So rather than having you watch Audrey do a bunch of math problems, either successfully or unsuccessfully, we're just going to actually skip ahead so that we can show you more of the game in a much broader manner, give you a sense of what's going on. So we will be right back in about 5 minutes as soon as Audrey does some basic
math. My brain will be a little more tired then.
Yeah.
See you in a bit.
All right. All right, and so
my brain.
Yeah, Audrey's brain hurts, and we're back to give you a little more of a rundown of what's going on in brain age concentration. As you can see, Audrey did the opening devilish training exercises and got a grade of F, so that went well. What's actually funny is that
talking and guessing too much.
Well, what was funny is that, it's sort of rotating through all these questions, and you're supposed to remember one from like 2 questions ago, and you forgot what was going on, and so you started guessing.
Greg came in, and then I forgot what's going on, so I just started guessing, and I actually got all of them but 2 doing that.
Yeah, and the best part was once you did that, you got your grade, which was a 90-something%, and the doctor was like, that is an acceptable technique.
Yeah,
it's like, that's not what?
He knew that I was cheating. He knew I was guessing, and he was like, good for you, coming up with your own technique.
Yeah, it was like, wait, all right, guys. So, Audrey, let's take a tour through what we got here. So we got supplemental training, brain training.
Yeah, we got concentration training, relaxation mode.
Some archives.
Yeah,
so what Audrey's going to do here is she's just going to start jumping into a couple of these. One thing we definitely are going to show you is the intelligent systems game called Blockhead.
Yeah, that's in brain training.
Yeah, and I'm going to explain to you guys a little bit about what Lucas was saying about the game, what he liked, what he didn't like, and then Audrey will also be kind of explaining to you guys what's going on with some of the
jumping into brain
games
training right here.
Yeah, so now here's Blockhead. Let's just
the only one that's open right now is Blockhead.
Well, that's perfect then. So this, guys, what you're seeing here is actually developed by Intelligent Systems, which is really, really cool. These are the guys that did Pushmo. These guys that did Crashmo. So it's definitely something worth keeping your eye open for. So, Audrey, what do you do in this game?
So, basically, there are 2 areas of this little map, and you try and take over as much of it and collect as many of the numbers on top of it as you can. And so there are only so many spaces, and you try and get a higher number than your opponents.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so let's take a look at this. Number of problems, 5. And I mean, that's the other thing is like, even if you have never played this before, Kawashima will explain everything to the point of exhaustion.
Almost, yeah.
You know,
and then re-explain it later once you already get it.
And you can't skip this stuff. You can make him speed up. You can see the text.
It's kind of funny when you make him speed up. He's like,
yeah, he talks like a little chipmunk. So you can speed up the progression of the text, and you can make him speed up with his speaking, but you can't actually skip a lot of this stuff. That's actually why we faded out earlier, was because he doesn't shut up, and we didn't want you guys to sit there watching Audrey do 5 minutes of basic math problems and lecturing. And I mean, he actually goes through like exhaustive like explanations of why this is good for your brain, and showing you these horrible pictures, and tells you that you can get smiley faces on your class projects. And the doctor cannot draw very well. Well, I'll say that much.
No, it's kind of funny though.
He's rather terrible at it. So yeah, I mean, if you want to back out, I mean, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, this is pretty, you know, a pretty good example of what you can expect in the game. You know, it's simple problems, just like Brain Age, just like
in devilish training, there are
a couple different types.
Yeah, a couple of different ones.
Yeah, and here's Kawashima once again telling you why this might be good for you.
Oh, goodness.
So that is sort of, you know, you noticed when Audrey went into the brain training mode and went in to go into Blockhead, there's a lot of this stuff that's cut off.
Yeah, I mean, just jumping in, you won't be able to play much. Like, there are only so many exercises you can do. And the point is they want you to come back once a day and unlock new exercises, but like for someone like us, you know, who doesn't have time every day necessarily to do this, that could prove frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of the big problem with the game, right? Is like, you know, I think most of us like to play games however long we want to, you know?
Or whenever we have time. Or
yeah.
Like, I immediately wanted to jump back in after I first played it. Like, okay, well, I want to train and get better, but no.
Yeah, he'll literally tell you, like, you've played enough for today. Come back tomorrow. And it's like
oh, okay.
There's an interesting idea there. It's an interesting way to pace it, but I feel like it should be incentivized and not sort of like a punishment. Like, you played too much, you're stopping now, you know? It reminds me of a harshly enforced, you know, the 3DS will let you know every now and then, like, oh, if your eyes tired, do you need to take a break?
But it doesn't just make you stop.
Well, and I think, and you know, and that reminder is annoying enough to me because I'm like, I will know when I don't want to play this anymore. But this game is like, no, you are done for the day. So, I mean, and that's, you know, and that's sort of the game's big problem is not only, you know, is it sort of forceful about how much of it you can play, but it restricts you in terms of what you can play and when you can play it. It progressively unlocks, and based on time restrictions, based on the number of days you played and that sort of stuff.
Basically, if you have a job or a life or any sort of schedule that doesn't adhere to this, then it's going to be a little difficult.
Yeah, I mean, for those of you wanting to play less, like, you know, you can, I guess, but, you know, if you want to play more, like, you're going to have a lot of trouble. You know, and I think that's the big, you know, sort of surrounding issue as to why Lucas gave this game, you know, a 7.8. It's just, you know, it's good, but, like, it kind of has its own idea of what you're going to do with it.
The whole point of this particular game is to sort of reach everyone, something everyone can jump into, even the more casual market. But, I mean, most people aren't going to want to come every day so religiously, you know what I mean?
Yep. But, yeah, I mean, that's the big thing. I think the other thing to point out is that some of the handwriting recognition software is still not as good as it could be. I seem to recall this being a slight issue with the original Brain Age games, and it's still here too. So they assume you're going to write your numbers or letters or whatever in a very particular way. And if you don't, you know, do that for whatever reason, the game is going to fight you a bit, and you know you're going to have to either adapt or not. And if you don't, then, you know,
it has problems with my 5s.
Yeah, you and the doctor don't get along very well. So that's just something to keep in mind. You know, it makes some certain assumptions about how people, you know, write. So, you know, that combined with the time restrictions, and you've got a little bit of an issue there. But other than that, you know, this is still kind of that Blue Ocean style approach that Nintendo has been doing for the past many, many years, starting with the DS and Wii and continuing onward. Same types of puzzles, same types of games. It's got some classic Brain Age games as well as plenty of new ones. Some of them are more like the devilish training stuff, which is just mercilessly difficult, and some is a little more what you remember from the past. Yeah, I think that's about it. Is there anything else we need to add in there, Audrey?
No, that's basically it.
Yeah, all right. So that's a quick look at brain age concentration. Of course, if you're watching this, you can also read our full review, which will break this all down a little bit more in a little more detail for you. But for all things 3DS, and particularly in the future, as the 3DS has a great 2013 ahead of it, stay tuned to IGN.